You need to do everything you can to be where you want to be. Not tomorrow, not when things get easier, not when the circumstances line up perfectly. Right now, with what you have, with who you are today. Because here's what nobody tells you. The life you want is not locked behind luck. It's not locked behind connections or money or talent. It is locked behind the version of yourself that you haven't become yet. And that version is built in the moments you didn't feel like showing up, but you showed up anyway. Let that sink in. Most people wake up every single day and negotiate with themselves. They hit snooze, they scroll, they tell themselves they'll start Monday, they'll go hard next month. They're waiting for motivation to arrive like it's a package in the mail. But motivation is a lie, it's a feeling, and feelings change with the weather. Motivation is crap. Motivation comes and goes. When you're driven, whatever is in front of you will get destroyed. That's the difference between the person who makes it and the person who doesn't. One of them is driven. One of them is waiting to feel ready. And the world does not reward people who are waiting to feel ready. You want the luxury? You want the freedom? You want people to look at your life and wonder how you got there. Then stop waiting. Stop negotiating. Lock in. A man who spent nearly a decade inside the California prison system and came out and built a multi-million-dollar empire. He'll tell you straight. He says the principles that kept him alive, that kept him respected, that gave him structure inside 4 concrete walls, those same principles are what built everything he has on the outside. Discipline, integrity, standard. He says most people on the outside have more resources, more freedom, more opportunity than anyone behind bars. And they're doing less with it. They're wasting the one thing that nobody can give back. Time. You are burning time right now if you are not moving towards something. Every day that passes without intentional action is a day that compounds against you. Because your competition isn't resting. The market isn't waiting. The world does not pause for the person who needs one more comfortable night before they get serious. The Stoics understood this 2,000 years ago. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, one of the most powerful men in the history of civilization. And he wrote this to himself in his private journal. Not for fame, not for publication, for himself. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He didn't have social media validation. He didn't have a hype man in his corner. He governed an empire and went to war and dealt with plague and political betrayal. And he sat down every night and reminded himself that the only thing he controlled was his response to the world. That is the foundation of everything. Stop trying to control what other people think of you. Stop trying to control outcomes. Control your actions. Control your standards. Control the effort you bring every single day, regardless of how you feel. And watch what happens over time. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." That's not passivity. That's not sitting back and letting life happen to you. That's clarity. That's knowing exactly where your energy belongs and refusing to waste a single drop of it on things outside your circle of control. Now let's talk about pain. Because this road is not comfortable. Anyone selling you a shortcut is selling you a slow death. The shortcut keeps you weak. The shortcut keeps you dependent. The shortcut steals the very process that was supposed to build you into someone unbreakable. The most important conversations you'll ever have are the ones you'll have with yourself. What are you telling yourself when nobody's watching? When the alarm goes off at 5 in the morning and the room is cold and the bed is warm, what does your inner voice say? when you're in the middle of the workout and every muscle is screaming at you to stop, what do you tell yourself? Because that voice, that internal conversation, is either building a warrior or building an excuse. There is no neutral ground. You need to start talking to yourself like someone who has already decided, not someone who is trying, not someone who hopes it works out, someone who has already decided, this is who I am now. This is the standard. This is non-negotiable. Seneca wrote, "It is not that I'm so smart, it is that I stay with problems longer." Persistence. That word gets thrown around so casually that people have forgotten what it actually means. It doesn't mean trying until it gets hard. It means trying especially when it gets hard. It means showing up on the days when nothing is working. It means finding a way or making one. The people you admire, the ones living in those penthouses overlooking Monaco, the ones driving through Dubai in cars that cost more than most people's houses, they are not special. They are not fundamentally different from you in DNA. What they have that most people don't is a tolerance for discomfort that they built deliberately, over time, through repetition. They failed. They got embarrassed. They had people doubt them and laugh at them and tell them to be realistic. And they used every single one of those moments as fuel. That's available to you right now. Every person who doubts you is handing you fuel. Every setback is handing you fuel. The question is whether you're going to light the fire or let it sit there. The temporary satisfaction of quitting is outweighed by the eternal suffering of mediocrity. Listen to that again. The temporary satisfaction of quitting, meaning yes. Quitting feels good in the moment. Giving up relieves pressure instantly. Your nervous system rewards you with immediate comfort when you stop pushing. That's real. That's biology. But what comes after that comfort? What comes after you choose the easy path for the 10th time, the 100th time? You look up 5 years from now and you're in the exact same place, maybe worse, because now you've also built a habit of quitting. Now your identity is someone who folds when it gets hard. That is the eternal suffering of mediocrity. Not dramatic, not explosive, just a slow, quiet erosion of everything you could have been. Don't let that be your story. You have one life, one run, no respawns. The person you are capable of becoming. That person is waiting on the other side of every hard thing you've been avoiding. That version of you that is confident, disciplined, free, and financially sovereign. They exist. They are real. But they are built, not born. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Stop theorizing. Stop consuming content about discipline without becoming disciplined. Stop watching videos about success without doing the work success requires." The information age has given everyone access to the blueprint. The blueprint is not the problem. Execution is the problem. Consistency is the problem. Identity is the problem. You need to see yourself as someone who does the work, not someone who wants to, not someone who is trying to, someone who does. Present tense. Permanent identity. The men who survive, who thrive, who come out of the hardest environments on earth and build something real, they had one thing in common. They controlled themselves completely. In an environment where everything was out of their control, they mastered the one thing nobody could take: their mind, their discipline, their daily standard. You don't have those external pressures. You have every advantage. You have the phone in your hand, the internet, the freedom to move, the freedom to build, the freedom to choose differently starting today. So what is your excuse? There isn't one. This is your moment, not next year, not after the holidays, not when you feel ready. Now. Wake up earlier, train harder, eat cleaner, read more, Spend less, build more, complain less, execute more. Every single day, do something that your future self will thank you for. Because one day, you will look back at this exact moment and you will either be grateful that you chose differently, or you will wish you had. Make the choice that your future self deserves. Lock in, stay the course, and never, ever negotiate with your standard. You already know what you need to do. Now go do it.